Welcome back to the Greener Lawn. Today we're going to be talking about our 2019 fertilizer schedule and going over what regimen we are going to be using in our lawn. Stay tuned. That green though. Let's go. So we get a lot of questions whether or not people should follow my last year's plan. Yes, it was a very solid plan. I had really great results. If you like that in-depth microdosing and being out on your lawn and doing multiple applications over time, it's a perfect regimen for you. And there is nothing wrong with it. I got great, wonderful results. This year's plan is a little less work on this side of it because I have a lot of different projects that are going on. I'm gonna get amazing results. It's a lot less work and it's something that you can apply once a month or once every other month, depending on what month it is and what you want to follow. Also opens up the realm if you want to move outside of the N-ext products, use a different application schedule. I give you those steps also. Looking at my 2019 soil and lawn fertilizer regimen that I'm going to be coming out with this season, I want to focus on something very big this year. I want to look at our soil's health. So before I get into what my actual plans that I'm going to be recommending this year is that I recommend you take a soil sample, you look to see what you can fix inside of your soil. It's the biggest thing that I think that you can do for 2019. If you don't do it, it's totally fine. It's not going to be the end of the world. Lawn regimens have been done since the beginning of time without a soil test. But if you're a true lawn nut, knowing what we can actually fix within our soil to make our lawn regimens work so much better for us goes a long way. It is my recommendation for 2019, if you've never done it, to look into it. Even if you don't do it, make a plan to where you can look to fix that piece. So looking at my piece of my soil sample that I did back in February, it let me know that I had extremely high pH. My pH was off the chart. It took its calcium, it took its magnesium, it took the phosphorus and threw them all off the chart because of where my pH was. So what I have to fix this season is my pH. If I wouldn't have done my soil sample, I would have not known this piece. So what I did is in February, I put down elemental sulfur at 5 pounds per thousand. That's what kicked my season off. That's what a soil sample does for you. It lets you know what you can fix. If you don't, here's the plan that I would recommend that I'm going to be going with this season. End of March, I'm going to be hitting it with 0.5 pounds of nitrogen. You can do it anywhere from 0.5 to 0.8 pounds of nitrogen. Then going out with humic 12 at 9 ounces per thousand, and I'm going to be hitting it with my pre-emergent at that point in time. I'm going to be using prodiamine. The middle of April, I'm trying to find a 70-degree temperature where it's starting to be in the 70s pretty consistently, and I'm going to apply my favorite personal hit of Aerate and RGS. Aerate's going to go down at 9 ounces per thousand, and RGS is going to go down at 6 ounces per thousand. Next application is going to be in the middle of May, and that's going to be my sulfur. That's my personal app, 5 pounds per thousand, so it gets my 10 pounds per thousand down for my season. That will be what I put down to amend my soil for this season to help bring down my pH. If you are going to be running DThatch, and it is something I'm seriously considering this year, this is the perfect time to start it, is in the middle of May. You come out with 6 to 9 ounces of DThatch between the middle of May, every 3 weeks, all the way through the end of June. You'll get 3 solid applications of DThatch in at that point in time. My next application will be in June, where I'm going with humic 12 at 9 ounces per thousand. So in July, a lot of people like to do that Milorganite throwdown. During the 4th of July, that traditional throwdown of nitrogen for the summer's growth, I'm personally not going to do it. That's why I have it on my plan as optional. But it gives a good amount of nitrogen at that point in time that can really assist if that's what you're looking for, if you really want to have that top growth at that point in time. July also, I'm going to be coming in with MicroGreene. That's what I'm going to be hitting it with. August, I'm going to be coming back in with MicroGreene again at 6 ounces per 1,000. Middle of September, when the temperatures are below 85 degrees, I'm going to hit it with my favorite hit of Aerate and RGS once again at 9 ounces per 1,000 on the Aerate and 6 ounces per 1,000 on the RGS. This is the time, if you're looking to renovate, overseed, do any of those projects, this is a good time of doing it, especially when the temperatures get below 80 degrees for cool season turfs. At the end of September, if you didn't do that renovation, that is the time when I recommend putting down nitrogen, again at 0.5, so half pound, to 0.8, so about 3/4 of a pound of nitrogen at that point in time, and a solid hit of humic 12 at 9 ounces per 1,000. And for those of you who like to do a winterizer, Thanksgiving time frame is a really good time for that for most places. And I'm going to be coming in with Carbon X at 0.24 pounds, so 1/4 of a pound of nitrogen at that point in time. There's a lot of different choices here on the shelves, and it can get overwhelming what ones to use. If you come in here and you're looking, you're gonna see tons of choices, especially in a Home Depot like this. You can see all the different products that each one of them have. You have Revive, you have Scott's products, you have Milorganite, you have different things. It goes all the way down. There's a middle section also, including this aisle plus a lot of end caps. There's so many choices. So you need to look at what your soil needs. One of the best things that you can do when you're at a store like this is go in prepared, because you have a soil sample. You know what you're going to be attacking. There's so many choices, it can be overwhelming. If you don't want to do a soil sample and you just want to do a 4-step program, Scott's has it. Your local nurseries are going to have it.
That'll keep your grass green throughout the year until you get snow on the ground. But a 5-step program like this one will do most anybody well. Depending on the situation of your lawn, you might want to take a little bit different tactic.
Everybody's going to have a program that actually works. With all these different products that are on the market, you really should either one, follow a 4-step plan. Yeah, it's kind of cliche, but they do have some science behind it. You're just feeding nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium into the lawn. You're not really giving it any kind of micros. You're not feeding anything that's feeding your soil. You're just feeding the grass. That's why I think if you're going to run one of those, it's even more imperative for you to use the soil test if you are going to be doing those, so that you can see if that's actually going to be a great way of doing it. No problems there if you're going to. Totally fine. A 4-step program is totally fine. If you want a little bit more regimented plan, this is what I'd recommend you do. So at the end of March, I would hit it with nitrogen at 0.5 to 0.8 pounds per 1,000. I would find a solid humic product that has humic and fulvic in it, and I would put it down, because you need to nurture your soil. You need to help unlock things that are locked up in it, so that you are actually feeding the microbes and biology and unlocking what our soil can actually do for you. And I would do your pre-emergence at this time, at the end of March. April, if you're into dethatching and aeration, this is a good time to do it. You find when your grass is starting to actively grow, when those temperatures are up around 70 degrees, get it aerated and dethatch. If you put down a pre-emergent, aeration isn't going to be your friend. because you're either going to aerate or you're going to use pre-emergent. Because if you put down a pre-emergent and then aerate on top of that, you've just poked holes into your plan, literally. In May, I would actually find a solid kelp product that will help stimulate your roots to grow, and with drought and disease tolerance. In June, I would go with your humic acid, once again as recommended, whatever its application schedule is. July, I would find some micros and see what you can apply. And also in July, if you're into that nitrogen push, you want to see that top growth and stuff through the summer, that's the time that you put down another nice nitrogen hit of 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound, which is 0.5 to 0.8. August, I'd hit it again with your micros. When you get to September, that's when you look at your overseed, your renovations, those types of projects. If they're in the card, at that point in time, that's the perfect time to do it. Find when the temperature drops below 80 degrees, going down into the 70s. That's the perfect time to do those regimens. If you don't do it, then at the end of September, I recommend nitrogen again at 0.5 to 0.8, humic acid, and then sea kelp again to help with those roots, that growth, everything establishing and working its way down into the system. The end of November, once again, you can do your winterizer app, anywhere from 1/4 pound of nitrogen up to 1/2 pound of nitrogen. So as you can see on either of these lawn plans that I recommend, that there's a little bit of flexibility built into them. You find products that are going to work for you, your style, your way of doing things. Once you find those products and you find a good schedule that works for you, that's what you need. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. If you like to be out on your lawn, microdose. Get out there and feed it often. That's where my plants actually really excel, is because it allows microfeedings in between. It allows you to read your lawn, which is key, and you can go out and apply other products because you are not maxing them out. You are using what's going to give you a solid hit, give you good green up, going to make your lawn look amazing. But if you go out and you see that it needs something else, you have other things in your arsenal that you can actually do. And it makes your lawn go to another level, being able to go out and read it and see what it needs. You can microdose in between either of these plans, especially on my plan that I'm using. I can go out and microdose in between and not have a single problem at all. If I'm seeing that my lawn's struggling during the summer, I have RGS on tap to where I can help my disease resistance, I can help my fungus resistance, I can help my lawn limp through the summer because I have RGS on tap. Obviously, if it's above 80 degrees, 85 degrees, you don't want to use more than 3 ounces per 1,000, but you still have that on tap. If you're wanting a little bit more of a green up, you can microdose in your micros during the summer. You're not going to be having a huge flush of growth on the top. You know, you aren't going to have to mow a whole lot, but you're going to get the green because you can microdose it in. You have those options that are built into this plan. So I really do recommend that you guys look at these plans, evaluate what you like about them, and then move forward with them. If you need help, I'm here to help you. Reach out to me, JeremyofTheGreenerLawn at gmail.com, and I can help you tailor this to what you have in your soil. Especially if you do a soil test, I can help and see what we can do to get your lawn looking great. Feel free to use me as a resource. So this week's question is, are you going to do a soil test so that you can follow that regimen that it gives you? What the soil actually tells you. Not that what their recommendations down in the bottom are going to be 100%, but what your soil tells you it needs. Are you going to follow that? If not, that's totally fine, because you can still get great results. As you see from my lawn last year, with as messed up as my soil was, with high pH, calcium and phosphorus off the chart, still got great results. But this year, I'm going to be doing a more regimented plan towards that, fixing those problems. Are you going to this year? I'm Jeremy of The Greener Lawn. Make her green.
Yo, mate, what up?
A random child bombing.
Yo, mate, what up?
This is the wrong video.
This is the right video.
No, that'd be Ben Sims. But you can't tell who my kid's favorite YouTuber is. Who's your favorite YouTuber?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't have any cool catchphrases.
Make her green!
That's how it's called this yo, mate, what up?
Oh, you're a hater. You're a hater.
Make a... Nah, joking. Not gonna say it.
Nobody cares about MicroGreene anymore, Dad.
What's wrong with your hate hole right now? It's hating on me.
Next level.